streak in the Western Conference. At 10-4, the Lakers have the third best record in the West. Former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates is among 25 finalists for the class of 2025 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gates, a three-time All-Pro, played all 16 of his NFL seasons with the Chargers. His 116 touchdown catches is the most for a tight end in NFL history. Put that man in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame selections will be announced during Super Bowl week in New Orleans. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tavis, Smiley. You know the theme music, right? SNL, now celebrating 50 years. In a moment, a conversation with the first brother, the first African-American to appear on the sketch comedy show, SNL, now celebrating his 50th anniversary. We'll talk to Garrett Morris here in just a second after I tell you on the B side of this hour. We'll talk to the principal farmer, they call him, the principal farmer, Patrick Muhammad. He'll talk about his 33 acres and a school. I like that, 33 acres and a school, and how honoring black agriculture can be part of our Thanksgiving dinner and tradition this year. But as I mentioned, I am pleased to welcome back to this program the first African-American, first brother to perform on SNL. Again, now celebrating 50 years this season. Garrett Morris, how you living, man?
Hey, man, I'm out of jail, and I don't need no bail. How you doing?
Man,
how you doing, Tavis?
I'm doing well, man. If I complained, I'd be an ingrate.
I see they haven't caught you either. They're looking for both of us.
No, they ain't caught me. They ain't caught me either, man. So I'm just.
You got warrants like me. You got warrants too. I know that. Yeah. I got warrants. You got warrants.
I'm just trying to stay. I'm trying to stay in front of them, Garrett. Trying to stay in front of them, man. Trying to stay in front of them. First of all,
a warrantless black man is very rare. But go ahead, bro.
I like that. A warrantless black man is very rare. I love that. I love it. First of all, let me just do this. I have not seen you in a while. I have not seen your handsome visage in a while. How are you doing, for starters, Garrett Morris?
Well, I'm doing fine. You know, since the COVID, jobs have been up and down. I've had a couple of little things, but yeah. I'm not worried. You know, although residuals, they're keeping me going. You know, and right now I'm working on my memoir.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, I'm not telling everything, Tavis, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I told everything, the cops will be at my door. And by the way, before I continue, let me thank you for not doing a background check. Okay? Okay? Because I wouldn't be on had you done it. But anyway, I'm working on my memoir with a beautiful lady named Chloe Hilliard. You should know about her. Mm-hmm. She was one of the writers for Robin Thede show. Remember the black lady?
Oh, yeah, sure. Love her, yeah.
Robin is a brilliant woman. Mm-hmm. Sure, it's Chloe. So she worked me on that. And What else? I've been going to some. They've been giving me. See, when you're 87 and they give you awards, you should. I'm a Buddhist, so I feel good about it.
Yeah.
But others should say, they just are predicting something, like he ain't gonna be in this long. Let me get him out of the way. Okay? Okay.
No.
To say my 12 minutes. Well, go ahead.
You are getting these awards, Garrett Morris, because you have earned them. That's why you're getting it. Anybody trying to put you in the early grave, you have earned these awards. And I'm glad to see you get every one of them that you have earned. But let me back up. You said a moment ago that you said, I've been working here and there since the pandemic. Garrett, you're 87. Are you still wanting to work?
Hey, man, I'm like you. I'd have one foot in the grave and still say, give me a job. Okay? Right. See, I love what I'm in. I love what I do. And although now I'm hooked up to a walker, there are some roles you can play, right for anybody.
Sure,
and so, I have no problem with saying that, it might be a little different. My mobility is different. But, call me. There are a couple of people right now, some shows that, I don't know if I should mention them, okay, but a couple of shows that
sure.
trying to hook me up. But, I know, man, I have no problem with saying, I love to work. I love what I do. And not only am I working on my memoir, but there's a play that Bill Duke and I have done for a play I wrote that Bill directed. And he and I are re-editing it. It's called The Secret Place. It's about a cop who did undercover. You remember in the 60s, that undercover cop?
Sure.
In fact, there was a movie about it. Freddie Hampton got killed by it.
That's right.
Because of this guy.
That's right.
But when they found out about him, as you may remember, he started going around the country hiding in different pieces, and people were looking for his ass. But one of the undercover, and I wondered, since he wasn't undercover, and I know, in the 60s, man, you had to know what was going down. Even if those groups were flawed, they still were about a real problem they were trying to solve.
Yeah.
So how would you, a black cop, growing up in that racist atmosphere, now you are a spy for basically, because most of the police precincts had maybe one or two black cops, and during that time, one of the things they used them for was infiltrate the NAACP, Corps, SNCC, Black Panthers. That's what they were used for.
That's right.
So anyway, this play was about that before he committed suicide.
Yeah.
Me and Bill did this play.
I love it. I hope at 87 I am still as sharp mentally as Garrett Morris is, and still working as hard as Garrett Morris is, and still doing stuff and rewriting plays and receiving awards and still doing TV shows and writing a memoir. To that point, when we come forward, I got a couple of questions I want to ask Garrett about his memoir. We'll do that, and of course we'll talk about the SNL 50 years later, and Garrett being the first brother through the door on that show a half century ago. I'm delighted to have Garrett Morris right now on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Garrett Morris. So, Garrett, let me jump right in and make the most of these 15 minutes we have left here. So you've now achieved the age of 87, and you're working on your memoir. My question is, why do you want to tell all your business now? You done kept it a secret all these years, Garrett. Why tell it now, man?
Well, look, I figure at 87, if I was doing it now, they might have to come and celebrate it at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Okay. Yeah, and you know, I have no problem telling the truth. It's not, you know, I have been wanting to do this for a minute, and I just finally said, hey, look, do it, man. You know yourself. Yeah. Well, I was 85 when I decided to sort of do it. And I said, hey, you're 85 now, let's start doing this, because I want to live to 125, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, I listen to a black man who was the oldest person in the world who lived to that. But, you know, I don't, you know, I'm a Buddhist, so my whole view of death and all that stuff is it's different. I'm going to go through it. But yeah. I have no problem with the fact that, you know, life and death, those are two things that are connected, cementedly connected. Yeah. Yeah. So probably, you know, dying is just another process. And I know you believe, that because we are molecules and cells, we are energy, and energy is never destroyed. Mm. So, you know, one of the bases of Buddhism is that whole, I just put the way it should be put, right? Not in terms of reincarnated to, you know, whatever. By the way, if I'm reincarnated, can I say this?
Sure.
But if I won't be incarnated as a lesbian porno star, okay? Oh my God! Oh, did I fuck it up? Did I fuck up the show, man? Okay.
I think you just did, but we got a bleep button, so we'll bleep that part out, at least part of that, part of it.
Right. But for me, I just want to say when I was born in 1937, when black men were being lynched I thought it was 3 times a month. The statistics show 3 times a week.
Yeah.
By the time the KK reorganized in 1919, 3 times a week, black men were being. And I remember how, as evolving, I was raised in the Christian church, right?
Yeah.
And by the time I'm 15, I'm beginning to be disenchanted with a whole lot of what went on. Yeah. Particularly disenchanted with how men were being lynched every week, and they were being, if the guys were caught, the KKK members, they were taken to court and they were acquitted by usually white Christian Jews.
Sure.
And I'm becoming disenchanted with Christianity because of slavery and all that stuff. By the time I was in New York City, you know, I had given up on Christianity. And I think, you know, my mentality as a 20-year-old, I want to put it down on the book, you know, and just let people know that there are black men like myself who experience what we experience.
Yeah, let me ask you right quick, since you went there, and anybody who knows Garrett Morris, if you talk to Garrett for any length of time, not unlike my other friends, Herbie Hancock and others, they will let you know that they are Buddhists. Let me just ask you right quick, because I don't know if I've ever asked you this. You just now share with us how you became disenchanted with Christianity early on. And whether one agrees or disagrees, one can understand the way you've laid it out why you'd be disenchanted in the way that you were. But what opened up the door, Garrett, for you to Buddhism? How did that happen?
Oh man, let me do it quick because I only got a few minutes. When I got to New York, right? Mm-hmm. I got there after my grandmother. You know, you're not supposed to talk bad about your grandmother. My father's mother had actually cursed me. He said she didn't want me to leave, and when I left, she said, "I cursed you. You'll never succeed." Ooh. And when I got to New York City, I was 6 weeks homeless because of her, because she called my aunt and told my aunt don't let him stay there. Mm. And by that time, I had written a book. I read a book called The Power of Positive Thinking by, you remember Norman Vincent Peale?
Oh, yeah, Norman Vincent Peale. I read that book many times. It's on my desk. It's in my office right now, yeah.
Right. It's about visualizing what you want and about going inside. That told me, that began me with Buddhism, because it told me that inside me there was power to draw out, to achieve what I wanted. Sure enough, 6 weeks, I used visualization and going inside and praying for it, not with Jesus, but I say that, and sure enough, in 6 weeks, I kept praying for a place to stay and a job. Within 6 weeks, I had been arrested twice, wound up in court, and in court, I saw something, and this is 58 now, Tavis. I didn't even think this existed. Guess what I saw? I saw a black judge by the name of Kenneth Stamps. And he found out from the cop that I was a graduate of a college. He said, "Bring that boy up here." And sure enough, he said, "Where are you graduating?" I said, "Dillard." He said, "Well, who's your president?" Because he wanted to test me, because he knew my president. I said, "Albert W. Then." He sent me to his office. He called the YMCA. They let me stay there for nothing until I got a job. Wow. Okay, that's the first thing that I've been visualizing, was to get a place to stay. Within a year, I met a member of the Belafonte Singers, and the guy heard me singing in the auditorium. He said, "That's a job for you." Sure enough, I auditioned, became a member of the Belafonte Singers. So I got both the place I visualizing, and that was, I wanted to have a room to stay, an apartment, and I wanted a job. And sure enough, after that, you couldn't tell me nothing bad about positive thinking. But I found out positive thinking really has lifted that from Buddhism. That's what Nichiren Buddhists do every day. They chant. They visualize what they want. And chanting is like praying, you know. And even if you all don't want to have a good day or happens well, but other things, you know. So I started that, and within about 20 years, I met Art Evans.
Oh, yeah. Love Art, yeah.
The actor.
Yeah.
Right. And he introduced me to Buddhism, and he and Babe shakabuku with me. And, you know, I've been practicing it for like about 30 years, but I became official in 2009.
Yeah. I just saw.
Basically,
I'm sorry.
Chanting is praying. Go ahead, man. This is your
No. I didn't want. You said basically. Finish your point. You said basically. I didn't want to cut you off, though. Basically, what?
Basically, what Nichiren Buddhists do is something you hear all the time. Everybody's saying that.
Yep.
But there are about 300,000 Buddhist sects all over the world, so we're only one little sect. Yeah. And some of the other Buddhists don't like us. Okay, so this full disclosure.
Yeah. I saw.
Go ahead. Man.
I saw. You mentioned Art Evans.
By the way, hold on. By the way, talking about whatever. One person I know I'll never debate with, as two people, you and Cornel West. Because no matter how political I can get, I know you guys graduated from cum laude from university. I graduated, thank you, Lottie, from Dillard University.
First of all, Dillard University is an amazing school. It's a great school, Dillard. So you couldn't cheat your way through Dillard, certainly not back then. So you are a fine graduate of a major institution, and I will tell Dr. West, I'm going to see him this weekend, I think. I'll tell him that what you said about thank you, Lottie. But I'm in your category. Now, Doc was magna and summa. I barely got out. I'm like you, Garrett. I barely got out, man. I'm thank you, Lottie. So I'm with you. Let me just ask you this. Let me ask you this. One of the things, obviously, that let me pause for a second. I asked you earlier why at 87 you finally gonna tell this story. Let me just say I am glad that you're writing this memoir, because just the things you're sharing with us now, Garrett, about how you got to New York, how members of your family turned on you, how you were homeless.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much. We know you as the actor and the comedian that you've been all these years. We've loved you on everything from SNL to the Jamie Foxx show and all the stuff you've done. We know that, we see that part of you, but to just know that you're going to write this book and give us the backstory excites me. So I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm booking you right now on this program, and that memoir is done. Can I book you right now?
Oh my God! Yeah, hey, and this is the first time I've been on your show. Obviously, you are non-judgmental. Yes, I'll be. Anytime you call, Tavis, I want the world to know that I think you're one of the most brilliant men in the country, and I'm so glad you're here.
No, you are kind. I feel the same way about you, man. So we are locking you in now.
Well, even if I may disagree with you sometimes, I'm so glad you're here.
No.
Okay, I really am.
No, that's
so glad you're here.
No, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I say to folk all the time, my mother, listening right now in Indiana, doesn't agree with everything that happens on this show, everything I say. My mama called me last night, as a matter of fact. I haven't had a chance to call her back, and she called me last night and left me a voicemail about something I said or somebody said yesterday that she did not agree with. So my mama does not hold her tongue. She's almost 80 herself. And my mama will call me.
And you are her son.
Yeah.
So you one of her projects.
That's right.
Tell her that.
That's right. She will call me in a heartbeat and let me know she didn't agree with something. She called me last night, as I said. I haven't had a chance to call her back and argue with her, but I owe her a phone call. That said, when you get to this memoir, I'm just watching my time. It's getting away from me. Never enough time with Garrett Morris. But when you do this memoir, obviously people are gonna want to know that part about SNL. And what it meant for you as a black man to have been there when it started now 50 years ago. This is a loaded question. It's an open question. Tell me anything you want to tell me in terms of your reflections about being at SNL when it started 50 years ago this season.
Well, when I was there, I didn't know it would turn out to be what it did. I was just glad to have a job. At that time, I'd been out of work for a minute. For me, I saw it grow, and within a year, I realized that I was where I was, and there was a lot of background racism in some of the writers, but by the same token, the same opposite attitude with some of the other writers. So at first, it was hard for me to get somebody to work with me, and I must add, now I was a coke fiend at the time, and I wasn't the best in the human being, so I'm not blaming anybody. Again, as a Buddhist, I take responsibility for my actions, okay? But by the same token, there are a whole lot of people who are also drug fiends who don't have the kind of response that I've gotten about my, time with cocaine. I have not, about in 20 years, I have not touched cocaine. So I'm not claiming to be perfect, but there was a whole lot of problems which, had I been smarter, I might have solved them differently. But at that time, I made a lot of enemies because my response was usually coming out of a more angry thing. And I should have been more diplomatic in the 5 years I was there, because of the time I was 5 years or over, I had amassed a lot of friends, okay, a lot of enemies as well. So some of the things I did, some of the choices I made, committee choices, I look back and I can question some of them. But at that time, I don't know if you realize, you may have had this experience yourself. You was the one person out there, black, doing something, and it might be just 1975. So nobody knew about Garrett Morris. I had been in New York from 1958 to like 1975. I'd written 2 plays. I'd been in at least 30 off-Broadway and Broadway shows. I had taught public school. I had taught in prison. I had been a writer, arranger for Harry Brother Funny for 9 years, yet only people on the East Coast knew that. On the West Coast and down South, they look at me as this Lauren Michaels nigga. Matter of fact, I even got a letter from the NAACP about some comedic choices I had made. And like I said, I'm not going to be perfect, and you're allowed to disagree with me, but you're not allowed to make a stereotypical assessment of my character, my soul, based on my comedic choices. So the term Uncle Tom even was used by one of the guys I helped to get to the show. I'm not going to call it a statement. Great comedian. And when I got him to the show, I voiced that, we got you here. And he said, no, you didn't, you Uncle Tom. And so for me, a comedian choice is one thing, but the person's mind, psychology, body, mind, and soul, you have no right to make any stereotypical assessment of that based upon what you see him doing as a comedian.
No, I hear that. I hear that loud and clear. Your comedic choices are what they are. And I hear I hear your point. Let me just ask you. I got just a few minutes left here. In retrospect, not that you could change it anyway, but are you grateful for the time on SNL? Those 5 years, those first 5 seasons.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Life has its ups and downs, has its wins and losses. And for me, that's just life. Again, I'm talking about the Buddhism thing. That's just life as it happens. Yes, that was a great thing for me. I had some challenges. Some I succeeding in overcoming, some I didn't. But again, that's just life itself, And I know just other human beings who have failures and successes, and I was not nationally known.
Yeah.
Until Saturday Night Live.
SNL, yeah.
And by the way, when it comes to racism, I see Lorne Michaels as having zero racism because I can't tell you what he had to do to keep me there and to get me going. But inside the writers group, there were people who were a little bit on the right wing side.
Yeah. Well, it is quite remarkable to me. Whatever one thinks of SNL, it is quite remarkable to me that any show could run 50 seasons.
50 years,
it's unbelievable, but we celebrate the fact that when it got off the ground, there was a brother there named Garrett Morris who ran those first 5 seasons, and his stuff is I was watching some stuff the other night preparing for our conversation today, just taking myself back to Garrett's first 5 seasons, and his stuff is as funny now as it was then. Of course, he's gone on to have an amazing career on stage, on the small screen, on the big screen. He's been introduced and reintroduced to new generations of fans through a variety of the shows he's done, and so I am awaiting this memoir from Garrett Morris when he next hopefully returns to this program. For now, Garrett Morris, I love you, man. There ain't nothing you can do about it. Thank you for your time.
Same here, Tavis, and you keep on keeping on, and tell Cornell I say, shut up.
I will do just that. That's Garrett Morris. More Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know from BIN News. Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride stated she is not here to fight about bathrooms in response to House Speaker Mike Johnson's ban on trans people using facilities matching their gender identity. McBride said she would abide by the rule but focus on fighting for Delawareans and reducing family costs. Louisiana Republicans lost another court battle to post the 10 Commandments in public school classrooms. A federal judge blocked the law as unconstitutional, and a federal appeals court upheld the decision. The judge in Brian Kohberger's murder trial ruled he can face the death penalty if convicted. The defense argued it's unconstitutional. Kohberger is accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. And Wicked, starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and Gladiator 2 are set to boost the holiday box office this weekend. Wicked is expected to earn at least $100 million, while Gladiator 2 is anticipated to bring in $65 million. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Lowe's knows you want to get even more value for the holidays. That's why, as a My Lowe's Rewards member, you get new member deals every week on holiday decor, tools, and more. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers are getting more comfortable in their new home, the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. They beat Orlando last night 104-93 for their sixth straight home win. The Clippers started the season losing their first four at home. James Harden led the Clippers with 24 points. The Lakers are back in action tonight. They play Orlando at Crypto.com. The Lakers' six-game winning streak is the longest current streak in the Western Conference. At 10-4, the Lakers have the third best record in the West. Former Chargers tight end Antonio Gates is among 25 finalists for the class of 2025 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Gates, a three-time All-Pro, played all 16 of his NFL seasons with the Chargers. His 116 touchdown catches is the most for a tight end in NFL history. Put that man in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame selections will be announced during Super Bowl week in New Orleans. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
The following is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways for the purpose of soliciting sales or vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a complimentary stay in Cancun at a luxury resort, then Family Vacation Getaways may have your ticket to paradise. We're giving away a 5-day and 4-night stay to the first qualified 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You may also be eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $398. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you may be eligible to get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $398. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431. Again, call 800-868-6431 and give us your answer.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
You are indeed. One final conversation on today's program with the principal farmer. That's what they call him, the principal farmer. Patrick Muhammad talks about his 33 acres and a school and how honoring black agriculture can be a part of our Thanksgiving dinner and tradition this year. Patrick Muhammad, good to have you on the program, sir. How are you today?
Oh, I am phenomenal, and it's an honor to be on your show. How are you doing today?
Man, if I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I'm doing remarkably well, and I'm delighted to have you on the program. Let me start with this moniker, the principal farmer. Where did that come from?
Yes, sir, Brother Tavis. I have right at 25 years of being a public school principal, and my passion for making sure that children are getting what they need to be successful in society, that's my day-to-day. But I'm also a farmer. My family live on our farm. We stepped out on faith over 10 years ago. And so it's the merging of my two passions, education and agriculture. But before I go too far, Brother Tavis, I have to give you your flowers while you live. Brother Tavis, as a young college student, I would stay up late and watch you on the BET talk show. Then I transitioned with you to NPR. And Brother Tavis, I was in the audience in Lithonia, Georgia for the State of the Black Union. And that moment right there, experiencing those great leaders together and you moderating with so much poise and expertise, these are the moments that people like me will remember forever.
You are kind. That means a great deal to me to hear you say that. My mother, listening back in Indiana, I'm sure is always happy to hear those kinds of things said about her son, her number one son, her firstborn child. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. Every one of us, I say all the time, wants to be acknowledged and appreciated and loved and affirmed, and I think it's part of the human condition. And since I'm a human, nothing human is alien to me. All we know in life, as you well know, as a high school, as a public school principal for 25 years, all we know is what we're giving. We never know what people are receiving. And so I say to people all the time, give everything you have to give in love and service to your people. Just give, give, give. And you never know, again, what people are receiving. But when years go by and people turn up on your radio program to talk about their work and their witness, and they recall being in the audience when you were doing X, Y, or Z, it means something. So thank you for those kind words. I deeply appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Yes.
Let me circle back to one of these two passions that you've, again, weaved together. I am curious in real time, particularly given that Donald Trump, and I don't mean to make you political, but you'll take my point. Donald Trump has now been elected. He has promised he wants to abolish the Department of Education, even though he has nominated, I should say, Linda McMahon from world WWE fame, wrestling fame. What her background says to us about why she ought to be Education Secretary, I do not understand. I'll set that aside for now. The point is that Donald Trump has said that he wants to abolish the Department of Education. You have for a quarter century now been a public school principal. So my broad question is how you process this attack. That's my word, not yours. This attack that in many respects, even beyond Donald Trump, that education is under, public education is under these days.
Absolutely, and thank you for that question. And as we have been taught by our teacher, Minister Farrakhan, we always have to remember that politics and education is local, right? So I encourage parents to make sure you're advocating for your child at the local school. Too often our national politics and national agendas, by the time they trickle down to our day-to-day realities, that politician is out of office and is changing again. But that teacher that you'll see every day, that administrator that you'll see every day, that cafeteria worker you see every day, that SRO officer that you see every day, that's where we make the biggest impact. And so I'm one of those old school principals, Tavis. I grew up in East St. Louis, Illinois, the city of their champions, right? So I grew up in yes, sir. So I grew up with a community principal. And that's what I exercise every day. So, yes, I see my parents at the local grocery store. I see my parents at the local games. I see them at the gas station. And so that interaction that we have on the local level allows us to have more of an impact than any politician will ever have on us at a national level.
Yep. I have traveled this country over the course of my career, going to all kinds of schools, speaking in more places than I can recall. I've spoken in public institutions. I've spoken in private institutions. And the one thing that I've taken from all of my years of travel in and out of these schools is that the schools that do best in this country, whether they're public or private, this is my read, the schools that do best in this country are the schools where parents are involved. I take it, given what you just said, you'd agree with that.
Oh, absolutely, Brother Tavis. So one thing that we do at my school, we have no school buses, right? And that's for some budget reasons. What it allows me to do is I have access to my parents every morning and afternoon, right? So if little Patrick is cutting up, which they typically don't, but if he is, I can walk little Patrick to the car and say, Ma, it's not going to happen again, right? And so those touch points, those real-time touch points, allows us to be able to curtail any of those problems. Now, once parents, because I believe it's something called harvesting trust, right? Harvesting means the effort. When Granddaddy said go out there and harvest them potatoes, boy, now when you go out there, you ain't just going to knock the topsoil off. You got to dig in there, right? And so the relationships that I encourage my parents to have with their teachers and the school is going to take some work, some give and pull, right? And once that established, guess who benefits? The child. And so that's what we have to begin to do is harvest trust between the school and the family.
It's a beautiful phrase. I'm going to take that one, Mr. Muhammad. Harvesting trust. That's a good one, and I love that. You have to harvest trust. It's a great phrase. What have you learned in all these 25 years? I'm working my way to the agriculture. I'll weave these two things together in this half hour. I promise you, education and agriculture, your two loves, as we approach the Thanksgiving holiday season. But what have you learned over these 25 years of being a public school principal about oftentimes the low expectations that we have of our children?
Yes, the low expectations, in my honest opinion, is because we don't believe we are great. See, when children don't believe that in the total essence of their being, that they were born to be on the planet at this time, and they have to make a contribution to this world continue to grow and evolve, then they don't find their place. But when you can tie those children to others that have come before them that are trailblazers, then it gives them something to shoot for. Too often, Brother Tavis, what I've seen in education and the gap between wealthy children and children of poverty is exposure. There's something called a 1,000,000-word gap. But that's only from exposure. From my little bitty home in East St. Louis, I didn't know that it was just close, but my parents took us on vacation to Topeka, Kansas, right? And we went to see the Kansas City Royals. We went down to Jackson, Mississippi. You would think they took me across the world. But it was exposure that they allowed me to experience, and so my vocabulary increased. I could talk about how to navigate the interstates of the USA. I could talk about the different state capitals that I had visited. And so when you sit down and see that on a standardized test, it's not foreign to you. So we have to have educators that have already realized their lot in life, that I'm responsible for the next generation. So as we shift into this ag piece, Brother Tavis, yes, you hear about regenerative farming. But what we practice is regenerational farming. See, there's a generation, my parents were encouraged to get off the farm, right? And then they encouraged us don't look nowhere near the farm, right? And so this current generation has no memories of digging in the ground with granddaddy or shucking peas on the porch with grandmommy, right? And so there's a generation or two that we have to close those gaps. And when we close those gaps, now they can tap back into that spirit of the Harriet Tubman and the Rosa Parks and the Marcus Garveys and the Elijah Muhammads. And that's what we have to do, that regeneration.
Now you see why they call him the principal farmer. The principal farmer. I get it. His name is Patrick Muhammad. He is brilliant in the work that he is doing. He is harvesting our trust right about now. When we come forward, we'll keep weaving these two things together, these two passions, education and agriculture. You're listening, and I'm glad about it, to Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking.
That's what we do around here.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Bad Ash Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
He's a paradigm pioneer.
And the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Tavis Smiley and Patrick Muhammad, known as the Principal Farmer. He's a pioneering leader in Atlanta's homesteading and agriculture education with over a decade of experience cultivating 33 acres of farmland. He has transformed it into a thriving, innovative space for learning and sustainability. Also principal of the Chattahoochee Hills Charter School, a local agricultural school. Brother Patrick Muhammad integrates hands-on outdoor learning with modern homesteading techniques, nurturing the next generation of farmers, while I suspect still learning a few things himself from these babies. Let me just ask you, I'm just watching my time to get away from it. Let me ask you right quick, whether or not this conversation about Black-owned farmland will ever make a U-turn. There was once, as you said, or intimated earlier, just tons of farmland that was owned and by Black people all across the country, certainly down south where you are. And that at a certain point, that thing started to turn the other direction. I've been covering this issue for a number of years, decades, in fact, over the course of my career, talking about the disappearing Black-owned farmland. Do you ever see that conversation making a U-turn, turning in any way?
Well, Tavis, I believe, can one man, one woman change the world? And I believe that. And so I'm starting with my 540 children here and making sure that we bring another generation into the agricultural space. The reason we have to, there's more food when you go into the grocery store that's made of plastic, that's synthetic. It's grown in the lab, right? And so we have to teach children the value of where food comes from, right? When someone knows where it comes from, then they're more apt to say, no, let me take my time. Let me plant this seed. Let me nourish it as a seedling, and then let me harvest it and consume it. And so how do we do that, Brother Tavis? The 1890 Land Grant Scholarship is 19 HBCUs across this country. I attended one, Kentucky State University. However, I didn't understand that it was a land grant college. I got a basketball scholarship. But I say that to say this. Inside the Farm Bill, let's go back to D.C. a little bit. Inside the Farm Bill is the 1890 Land Grant Scholarships. This scholarship, Brother Tavis, goes under-applied for by our African-American children. And so we got to make sure that we push the 1890s, because that's who's creating the next generation of our geniuses in the ag space that will begin to close that gap. Right now, we have 1% of America where black families have farms. 1%. We got to change that.
No. He has a forthcoming book called Farming by Faith. Love the title, Farming by Faith, Our Remaining Moments with the Principal Farmer, Patrick Muhammad, when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom. If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada. Member FDIC.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, yeah, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Principal Patrick Muhammad, tell me about farming by faith, sir.
Absolutely, Brother Tavis. I know you could say there's some gaps in this space. How did this brother get to the farm? I am a product of time and what must be done. Number 36, farming is the engine of our national life, by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in 2013. As soon as he completed that lecture, I told my wife we got to buy land because they can't make any more. And so from that 2013 to now, we were on a quest. And so we moved from our subdivision to a 33-acre farm with no experience. I met a guy named Wayne Swanson, a black farmer. He showed me how to do it on his land. And Tavis, we went and bought 8 cows with no experience. And so when we say farming by faith, I'm talking, brother, it's nothing but faith, right? And so since that time in 2014, we have helped over 30 families move to farms, closing that gap we talked about, right? So if we buy half an acre by acre to 2 acres to 20 acres to 30 acres, over time, we will have enough land where we can consider beginning to grow food to feed our families. And so my job, my goal is to encourage our families, no matter where you are, no matter how much land you have, you got to start growing. And I can prove to you because we have been farming by faith.
What about persons who are not in rural areas but find themselves in urban spaces?
Oh, Brother Tavis, I can show you how to grow with 5-gallon buckets in your backyard on your front porch, right? We have to remove the excuses. One of the things that we do at our school is we make sure we remove the thought of anything impossible. Nothing is impossible. If you wake up today, that means that you can accomplish something. And so what I like your listeners to think about is, can I grow in my windowsill, right, if I'm in a condo? Yes, you can. Okay, if I'm in a townhouse, can I grow on my back porch? Yes, you can. If you're in a subdivision, I can show you how to raise quails, honeybees, rabbits, and worms and get your food right in your backyard, and then the HOA don't even know, right? And so the more we remove something being impossible, then that quality and skill set that's laying dormant begins to rise, and then we can tap into that intergenerational connection and bring back forth those skills, gifts, talents that our grandparents and great parents had before us.
I love his phraseology: regenerational farming, harvesting trust. He is the principal farmer, Patrick Muhammad, doing his thing with his 33 acres and a school, honoring black agriculture, as we all ought to do as we move into and through this Thanksgiving and holiday season. Mr. Muhammad, Brother Muhammad, an honor, sir, to have had you on this program. Thank you for your work and witness ongoing. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays, and thank you again, my friend.
My great honor, brother. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Tomorrow is Friday, so the best of Tavis Smiley on these stations across America. So many great shows, so many great conversations this week on these shows that we'll tap into and bring you a best of program tomorrow. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in, and as always, keep the faith.